Welcome to the WHS PBS Committee's Discipline Flowchart Explain Everything demo video. The purpose of this video is to take a look at the Wilmington High School Discipline Flowchart and how infractions should be logged using the public school work system. Let's start by taking a look at the Discipline Flowchart. The purpose of the Discipline Flowchart is to decide when there's a classroom behavior issue whether it should be managed by the office or whether it should be handled by the classroom teacher. And of course, we're going to log all infractions on the Public School Works website, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. You can look at the list of classroom behavior issues and it's pretty obvious which ones should be managed in the classroom and which ones will be managed by the office, by the administration. The first choice that you make when you go onto the public school work system is whether the infraction is going to be office managed or classroom managed so that it's just a report. And you can see that here. It's the first choice that gets made. This one is just for record purposes, so those are for the minor infractions, and this one will make it an office referral so that they know that they need to make the correct decision on what the punishment should be. It's also good to note that here's the positive behavior report, and we're trying to increase the number of positive behavior reports that teachers submit also. After you make that choice, the next screen that you come to will have you choose the student and then fill out the fields based on what happened in the classroom, what interventions have taken place, and what the description of what happened and what's going to happen next. Going back to the flow chart, we want to focus on the minor infractions for what we're going to talk about next. If there's a minor infraction, the first step is for the teacher to have a discussion with the student about the desired expectation and what will happen if there's a repeat occurrence of the infraction. The second thing is to document what happened for the same behavior. And we really want to emphasize making contact with the parent or guardian at that step. The teacher should go ahead and issue the consequence, whether it be a detention, an intervention detention, which is the new kind of detention that we're starting, or some other consequence. When the same infraction occurs for the third time, this is when it now moves over to becoming an office referral, and the teacher should make that known when they're logging on Public Works. One of the things we're trying to emphasize with the changes for next year is that teachers try to log all classroom behavior issues so that the principals can recognize if a student has been doing the same thing in multiple classrooms. All of that data will go to the principal, and they can use that to help determine what consequences to give the students. And again, just to re-emphasize from before, try to also make more positive behavior referrals. If we all work together to use the flow chart and the public school work system a little better, we all should benefit in the end. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to talk to an administrator or one of the PBS committee members. Welcome to the Explain Everything demo video that's going to show how to use the public school work system for logging in and either recording positive behavior referrals or negative behavior referrals for students at Wilmington High School. We'll be taking a look at the flow chart of behavior incidents that teachers can use to decide whether there's a major or a minor offense and what protocol they should follow for addressing the student behavior issue. Hopefully by the end of this video, whether you're a new teacher or have been using the system for a while, you will have a better understanding of how to log in and make the student referrals. There are a couple of ways that you can get to the Public School Works website. Probably the easiest is to go ahead and log on to the Wilmington High School Wiki, which is at www.wikispaces.com, and then if you're a member of the wiki, you can just log on by going ahead and just clicking on the link to the Public School Works. and this takes you to the Public School Works website. This website has a pretty easy login system. You should have an account there, and it uses first initial, last name, and the last 4 digits of your social security number to log you on. Once you are logged in, it brings you to this screen, which shows you what your choices are for submitting a student behavior report. There is the positive student behavior report, and then of course the office referral, and then just a documentation report that's just for record purposes. And so from here you can make your choice. We're going to first take a look at the positive behavior report. So this is all very straightforward. You select the student from the drop-down menu for which you want to make the positive behavior report. Then you can go ahead and note the time and date of when the occurrence happened, the category, where it happened, and then a note that will go to the principal when this gets referred. It's good to note that all of these, whatever you record here on the Public Works system, goes to the administration, and they will then take action. With respect to a positive behavior report, I know we give a reward to the student. We make sure that they get acknowledged, and that gets taken care of through the office. Also worth noting that this is a place to get parent contact information, and so whether it's for a negative purpose or in this case a positive purpose, it'd be an easy way to get a hold of the parents with their phone number, email address, and mailing address. So in the same way here, we're now going to look at submitting a behavior report. So in this first case, we chose to do one that was just for documentation only. So this is when there was a minor offense in the classroom, and maybe it's the first offense, the teacher's just going to use an intervention to try to correct it, maybe contact the parents. And so the teacher would log in just as before, and this time this looks exactly the same. You're going to select the student. So we've selected one of our students here with a behavior issue, and then we get brought to this same screen, except for this time there's some different choices. So it's going to ask us what interventions were used prior to this report, what the offense was, the location of the incident, and things like this. And this would be an example of a filled out form. And as you can see, this student was repeatedly using an electronic device when told not to. Under the interventions, it's listed that first the behavior was ignored, then a verbal correction was given, and that's where we want to show all of the steps that were taken to try to correct the behavior, and notes here where it was occurred here, and so on. It's important to go ahead and try to document these reports for minor offenses, because the administration will use this collective data to decide on what kind of discipline route to take when the behavior problem escalates. And in the final example, in this case, when we want to make a office referral, an actual referral to the office for action to be taken, it's moving through this kind of quickly because it's the same thing. We're going to choose the student, and then when we come to the next screen, this is where we'll put in the actual offense, where it happened, what happened, and there's also a place to make note of parent notification, which is on the flow chart, and we'll talk about it in a second, that before an office referral is made, usually there should be a parent notification noted at least one time, if not more.